There are two of these little 3-terminal devices. They're in plastic packages. That is, whatever's in them is encased in plastic, and it's circular but flat on one side. See that? They are transistors. They're called triodes here. One of them is a 9014 and one's a 9015. So the 15 goes right here, and the circle and the flat spot are marked in the silk screening. So right here, you can see a circle and a flat. And the other transistor, the 14, goes over here. So the flat spots are facing each other. And there's a 15. Now these legs need spread apart just a little bit to get started in the holes. Once you get it started, just sort of push down on it until it's a little bit lower than the resistors are high. That's a complicated description. Don't just assume the other device is the 14. There it is, the 14. And it is not polarized. And it fits right here. Can fit flush. We have a little potentiometer. Little blue thing. The knob. It's marked 103. That's a 10K. And it mounts up here R10. Now this thing it's got triangular legs on it, triangular pattern, and it wants to be adjustable from the outside of the board, so it will sort of snap in place. The legs are a little bit funny. They go down like that. Should stay in place. If it doesn't, go ahead and bend the leads, but it's pretty tight. One potentiometer. Rectangular, square body, 3 leads, and a screw adjusts on top. Here we have R16. We'll take a look at this potentiometer on top. It's marked 502. There's a little knob up here in the corner. Look, it's R16. 502. And a little symbol indicating the little screwdriver adjust. This fellow just pops in here like this. Again, I'll bend the leads out a little bit. We have 6 push buttons. They're all the same. They all have 6 leads, and they fit in these holes. There's S1, 2, 3, no 5, 6, and 7. Isn't that interesting? Drop right in one direction. Okay. We rotate them 90 degrees, and they will not drop in. Rotate them another 90 degrees, they'll fall in. So you can't install them wrong. I have some reverse acting tweezers. That is, instead of going together when you squeeze them, they go apart. Okay, and they're capable of holding on to something. What I'll do with a part like this, grab a hold of the top somehow. And now it's held tight against the board. All right, we've got some 2-position screw terminals and a coaxial power jack. These 2-position screw terminals have to be facing outward. No sense facing inward like that. And again, there's something that's best held on with the reverse acting tweezers. Coaxial power jack goes this way, and again the tweezers. We've got this header and a mating socket. I don't see any other use for headers on this board. It's unusual for the Chinese to give you extra. What we want to do is cut the header as long as a socket. So I'm just going to plug it in. Take my cutters. And there'll be little notches along here. See them? Just going to add here and cut it off. So there we have it. What I'm going to do then is stick it in this, if it fits. See how that fits in there? Now you can do it either way. I suppose the correct way would be to put this socket in the board. Although electrically it doesn't matter. Again, just solder the end terminals. Make sure this thing is vertical. That is, at right angles to the board, it is. It's tight all along. Then proceed to just work your way down the line. We're going to mount the display on top of this header. this display actually is going to hit these capacitors. See how that is? I don't like this. I don't like this at all. This is not at all good. I don't like this. I'm going to have to think about this for a while. We can, however, install these two integrated circuits. Now, for reasons that I don't understand, they normally deliver these ICs with the legs sticking out a little bit. See how they're not at right angles to the body. A little IC like this, I can just lay on the bench and sort of roll it, turn it over and do it again. I'm not pushing the top pins down. I'm rolling the body on the lower pins. And I do it again. See there, the pins are more or less right. They're not as bad. So I have this handy dandy little block here. Put the integrated circuit in there. Hold it down with your fingers and squeeze this. And pins come out nice, right angles. Make sure the notch is in the right direction. It should just drop in. Now the easiest way to screw up one of these is to push the thing down and have one of the four, well, there's 4 leads on the side, one of the 8 leads miss the hole and bend underneath. This is probably 40 pins, I haven't counted. See how they're stuck out? Why they couldn't do this at the factory, I don't know. I used to do this with a pair of pliers, rocking it on the desk, bending the leads. Close inspection of the pins. It does not appear there any bent underneath it at all. The switches all have these red extensions on them. They just fit on like that. Here's the piece that came with the kit. I did manage to find a piece like this that has machine pins on it, and if I line the bottom of them up, it gives me that much more. So I'm not satisfied with this, but I think I'll have to use it. If I were to do this over, it wouldn't look right, but I would lean that capacitor over and this capacitor over. And maybe nudge this fellow a little bit towards the potentiometer. let me show you how this came out. The kit itself came with these 4 standoffs and 4 screws. 4 of these screws. And I believe they were intended for use down here. I'll get to that. Because of the interference with these capacitors, I was forced to stand this up above the normal, and in fact use a piece of replacement header which I happen to have around. Most people would not have that around. They would use this, which came in the kit. I put 4 standoffs in to hold this display above the board. These standoffs included with the board are plain-ended. That is, each one is a screw end or female end, and they're 8 millimeters. These that I used here are 15 millimeters, and I used 2 male by female, that is threaded by internally threaded. So the lower one, the lower standoff is secured into this thread, and then a screw is placed here. And I used 2 of these. They're female by female, so there's a screw in each end. What I'll try to do is, since I have a spare kit, I'll try to show a way of assembling it so that you could use the components that came with the kit. I prepared a new bill of materials, and the way this is laid out to work, as you go through your package, you can X off or make a mark whenever R1 is found. And then you can make a mark when you install it, so you have a way of keeping track of what you do. Now this is an actual inventory of what I got in my 2 kits. Missing is a bent 2-pin header that was to go in here. This kit can be supplied with 5 volts DC, and you would have a pin header sticking out this way, so you could plug onto it with a DuPont connector. That was in the parts list provided in the seller's information, but it was not included in neither kit. And the other thing was these 470 capacitors are 25 volts. In the kit, in the seller's bill of materials, they were 16 volts. But that does not account for the difference in height. I tried the 16 volt units and they don't make a difference. This, the original seller's parts list, the schematic, and some other information, including what might be the programming codes, are in the subdirectory listed below. There's links to everything.